Means it's time for another box talk, and this time I actually am going to be welcoming on a guest just as soon as invite has been sent. We're going to be bringing in Ben Lacy of bitingcomics.com. What's up, Jay? And Kay? Jay, we got to figure out this whole meeting up before K and V do. There's got to be a comic shop or something that's in the middle of our residences that we can meet up at and hang out at. If there's a brewery nearby, I'm not going to be upset by that. So we'll figure it out, I have invited Ben to join in. He is a post-punk. He previously was on Longbox Punk talking about his series Samson when it was running issues 1 and 2 on Kickstarter. That was last year. And I had a great time talking to Ben. He's got a new Kickstarter running, not a new comic, a new Kickstarter. It's a series that he's been running called Vicious Vixens. We're going to be getting Ben on, hopefully, to talk about his Vixens. Oh, Texoma was the... Ha! Nice. That means you're not going to beat us, because that's 5 stars not until June. 5 stars not until June. So, Jay, we've got springtime, beers on a patio, talking comics. Get out of here. That's it, man. That's the dream. So we're gonna win, and then both K and V have to make social media posts, videos specifically talking about how great your comic is and my comic is. So that'll be fun. Secret time, I would have done it anyway. Oh, looks like Ben's coming in.
I'm not sure my video is working or not.
It doesn't look like it is, but I can hear you.
Yeah, let me try.
I just have a spinning circle here.
Yeah, let me try my other method here.
Hey, man, Substack with guests, still figuring it out, It says a start droid cam?
Yeah, I'm trying droid cam instead.
The beauty of live streaming. This is it. This is it. Oh. Gotcha. Got a desk. There you are.
Well, if I update, let's see if I can update now. Jeez.
Oh. I was just telling folks, Ben, your series Vicious Vixens is the one that is currently is the campaign still going for it, or did you just wrap it up, or are you just about to launch?
I've launched. It's
okay.
been about a week now.
Okay.
And it is going. Yeah. Take care of that. There. I think I am finally sort of on the screen.
I know it drops it in a weird way doing that co-host thing here on Substack, but perfect. Well, hey, just like we meant it to be.
Yeah, I've never done this on Substack. I've always done it on the other one, the one everybody uses, the live stream one.
Like Twitch or Instagram.
Twitch, I think maybe once, but usually it's like StreamYard. Everybody's using StreamYard. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's when like my normal weekly streams are through StreamYard.
Yeah, I was very, very worried when you said, "Oh, let's go at 9." I'm like, this may take 10 minutes to get in and get this to work."
Well, hey, I love the rough approach. I love that we'll figure it out as we go. That's my sweet
I'd be
spot.
better off
So
turning this other way. Would that fit me better? Or, no, I don't know if I still wind up in the. I'm on a flat. You're on the vertical perspective, and I'm on the horizontal. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be, or.
see, I'm on mobile, and we're just both two boxes
Ah, okay.
for
Yeah, I'm
me.
on. That was the other thing when Substack sent me the link. There said there was a big thing saying, "Oh, download the app," and I'm like, I don't have the Substack app. I use it on my desktop. I never feel bothered with it on my phone.
Yeah. So, so how are you, Ben? How's
I'm doing
things?
pretty well. I mean, the campaign's not going too bad. It's been a little over a weekend.
Yeah,
And it's like I said, the book is all done. I decided this time I was going to have the book completely finished before
yeah,
going to Kickstarter. So except for people who might want to be drawn into a couple scenes getting killed, all the art's done, the lettering's done,
nice.
and I'm almost ready. The art on Samson is now being done as we speak too.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, see, I'm
That's awesome.
pixelating a lot now too.
Yeah, there's a little bit of lag, but I
Yeah,
think
I guess next time if we do this, I'll have to get the app and do it on my phone rather and link it to the webcam on the computer.
there you go. Yeah, see, I when I told my wife, I was like, yeah, I've got like back to back live streams tonight. She was like, both downstairs? I was like, yeah, both downstairs. Yeah. So maybe I should have just listened to her and been upstairs. Did you hear that, wife? You were right. So so tell me about Vicious Vixens because I'm unfamiliar with the series. But I know that it's like this is not issue one for
Oh
you.
no, we're on issue 4. I mean, this
Okay.
is this. I don't know if you've read how much of Shark of War you've read, but Vicious Fictions is kind of a spin-off of that.
Okay.
You don't really need to read Shark of War, but I give away issue 1 where they appear anyway. So
Yeah.
if you really want to see the original version, which is much different than what it is now. But basically, in issue 1 of Shark of War, there's a montage where the Shark of War is doing a bunch of crime busting in the middle of the Caribbean. He's
Mm,
taking out drug traffickers and gun runners, and also he kills these human traffickers who are transporting this boatload of women. And
okay.
and the art was done by me. The women look almost like nothing like what they do now. They're just like almost identical clones of
Yeah.
each other. Um, and afterwards, after the book was over, I was like, I wonder what happened to those women because he didn't rescue them. He just killed the traffickers and left them floating at sea. So they were left there on their own. So I started to construct a story around them, and it turns out that these women are each have a unique skill set. They've been gathered by the mob for a unique purpose. Um, and they don't know what that purpose is. And for a brief
Mm,
while, they managed to escape thanks to this incident. But eventually, the mob retracts them down and has blackmailed them into performing the mission that the mob wants them to carry out. And in issue 4, we're actually seeing them attempting to carry out that mission. And it
nice.
involves, going to Peru and going into this lost city of gold.
That's
So
awesome.
it's very much inspired by 70s grindhouse stories, 80s action movies like Romancing the Stone and Raiders, and those kind of adventures. And so I'm hoping it gives both a really cool story, and it has it's attractive for the eye because books that have attractive women do well on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So I'm not above going there for
Right.
that. Well, but I'm hoping people really like the story. In fact, if you go to the Kickstarter page, there's a link where at the very top of the page where you can open up and download and read issue 1 of Vicious Vixens for free. You don't have to
That's
sign up for my newsletter or any of my other stuff. You can just read it for free if you want. And my hope is you'll like it enough that you'll want to back. And of course, I've got, the very cheap level where you get $5, you get the digital copy. I've got a bunch of very inexpensive digital rewards. In fact, I think my books are less than $2 a copy digitally. If you want to get all my books, I've got
yeah.
only that Shark of War, Vicious Vixen, Samson, and the Cthulhu Man one shot. So there's
Okay.
like 16 issues, and they're priced at under $2 per if you buy all of them on
That's
digital. And on, if you buy all of them hard copy, I basically price, because I want people to get all my books. I basically price them at Comic-Con pricing. So you're not paying any more than you would at Comic-Con for them, which, on a Kickstarter, that's really, unique because
yeah.
most comic books, you're going to average $10 or more per comic book, no matter how many you buy. But at a con, you usually pay $5 a comic book because nobody at the con is going to pay much more. But if you buy all my books, I give them out. I give them at a very good price. And of course, I've got the variant covers. This time I have a who's a very popular cover artist,
Yep.
doing both a regular safe cover and a not safe cover.
Yeah.
And not extreme because I'm not going all the way on it, but
Yeah.
not safe. And then I every issue or since the second one, I've been doing these cosplay covers where models have been cosplaying as these characters. And this issue, it's the character of Jamaica, who's the star athlete of the Vixens, the fastest of the Vixens.
Okay.
She's being played by a Nigerian model, Muratala Mercy. And you can see her cover there as well.
Yeah. I noticed, because I think I looked back at the previous campaigns for Vicious Vixens and saw that you had done the cosplay covers. I think that's awesome because then like they're getting like it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot of effort because it's hard to find women who both, I can hire and who are willing to do to do this kind of modeling. But I usually have managed to find, pretty good choices for each of them so far. And we've done, I think, it's be what the fifth Vixen, so we'll be doing 2 more in the coming issues because one of them's an underage girl, and I'm not gonna do a cosplay cover of her at all. But so it'll be 7 in total. And then
That's cool. So is that the plan then to have? Is it going to be a 7-issue story?
oh no, the story, as long as people are buying it, I'm gonna probably keep doing it. I think it
Okay.
can go for a while. I have a full, several, at least 1 or 2 story arcs in mind for them. So I see it going hopefully more than just 3 or 4 more issues. So
Yeah. That's
yeah,
do
I'm good.
you
Go ahead.
sorry, do you like when you first started thinking like I think there's more here with the Vixens,
Hmm.
was it pretty apparent to you like, oh, I've got like these 2 or 3 major arcs that I could do with them, or like when you were initially crafting the stories, was it more like, well, what do I want? Like, what's their story right now? And
Hmm.
then as you did that, then more ideas were coming. Like, I'm always curious.
I had like a 5, probably what would have been a 6 or 7 issue arc. And then I started thinking of more ideas and more adventures, so it'll go, as long as it keeps selling,
Yeah,
I'll keep doing it probably. It's my most popular of my books. So it's obviously the one I want to make sure it keeps going. Uh,
yeah,
so, and and as part of that, I hope to leverage people into getting my other books. So when they come
sure.
out, they'll back them, and that works some.
Yeah, yeah. It's that's always the game, right? Is how do you entice the audience from one title?
Right.
and then get them to be like, "Hey, I have more. Like, I don't
Yeah.
just have these vixens."
Yeah, yeah, that's why like I said, I keep offering a really good price if you get all my digital or all my hard copies, and, but, for the other books, single pot copies, I'm charging like what other Kickstarters do because, that's what you have to do,
Yeah,
to fund the book and to, because of the upfront costs you have relative to the number of, people who are backing and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, so is that, because I'm now getting into the realm of doing more Kickstarters myself,
Right.
like, when you're initially setting and thinking about the overall funding goal, are you thinking about it very, Spock-like with, like, "This costs this costs Y, this costs Z, X plus Y plus Z equals funding goal?"
No, if I did, I wouldn't. I'd have to have a higher goal because I really don't make enough to cover the costs.
Mm,
Even on this book, I doubt I'll make enough to cover the costs. Right? When you consider, the price of a comic book for, an indie comic book on a small print run, the
yeah,
price of the artist, the price of the cover artists who are, some of them are pretty expensive, especially this case Yum, who's,
yeah.
very popular, and you pay for that. Um, and then of course the shipping costs, that because I all my books are free US shipping, so I
Oh, wow.
factor that in the price, but it is, $4 or $5 a book to send anything even in the United States. Um, and then of course I add, people overseas have to pay more, but
Yeah.
and I get a few buyers overseas, but mostly it's US. So yeah, if I really added it all up, I'm pretty sure I'd probably have to set a goal, probably $1,000 higher than I do.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
and that means nothing. I'm not getting anything. So
Right.
so
Right.
Vixens is probably the only book I come close to breaking even on.
That's crazy.
And that's
Mm,
partly because I have a really good artist but he likes working for me and he gives me a good rate.
yeah.
Because if I didn't have that, I don't think I'd come close even on this book. Yeah, I don't go deep into I keep track of all my expenses for tax purposes, but I don't go deep into the costs because I would probably say, oh, geez, I'm losing too much money. But
Yeah.
yeah, I lose a little money on each book. This one is probably the least, simply because it funds the best and stuff. But
Yeah.
on all of them, usually lose something because it's just you pay $100 a page and for the art, and then
Yeah.
you're paying $700 or $800 to get the books printed, and then you pay $500 or $600 to ship them, and then you got miscellaneous bag boarding costs and other bonus art costs. It adds up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not for somebody who's planning to get rich unless I mean, there's a few people who can crank out a Kickstarter with a comic book and make 1,000 backers and 50 to $100,000, and I'm sure they make money, but
Right.
uh,
Yeah. I would love to know their secret because
uh,
I don't, I see some campaigns that just go completely bonkers in
yeah,
funding. And it's like, how, I look at those and I have backed a handful of those. But a lot of them, I'm just like, "I don't get it." Like, what why
I
this
know.
person?
I don't either most of the time, and a lot of times I see people who have not only high back counts, but higher pledges per each backer, higher average pledge. And I'm like, what are they backing that they're paying that his average, the average pledge is $100 of, are they getting every cover? Yeah, I'm usually doing well if I'm getting, my average backer is pledging $25 or $30.
Yeah,
That's a good average. I see
yep,
people making 50 to 100, and I'm like, wow, that is amazing. But I don't quite understand what they're offering because I actually look and I'm like,
yeah, right,
what are
right,
they buying? but
right,
but yeah, some people are very good at either they're promoting or they have a very large built-in audience, which I think is a lot of it. You have to have a large built-in audience. So, if you're a popular artist, I think that, that really helps. Or,
Yeah.
what is it, the Coffin Comics people, or, Lady Death people, they crank out, these and do very well. And,
Yeah.
and there's some other people that do well too, but
And
yeah.
do you think, since we're talking about like the wildly successful Kickstarter, do you think stuff like Dark Horse or like Bad Idea or some of the larger indie publishers, like I mean I'm guilty of the, like, I backed the, I don't even remember who it was through, but it was for like all of the old, they collected all the old Gargoyles comics
Mhm.
and like repackaged them all and released them as a 3 trade set. And I didn't go like super, I was like, I just want the books. I'll take soft
Yeah.
cover. That's the cheapest. But it was still like a $75, reward to
Correct.
you just to get all 3 books. And then like they had the ultra modern, super crazy, hyper deluxe leather hardback treasury edition, whatever the hell. But like, I love talking about this specifically because everybody has different feelings on it. Do you think the like direct market publishers like Dark Horse or Boom Studios um, entering the Kickstarter space, is that good for comics on Kickstarter, or is it just them taking more pieces of the pie that felt like they were exclusively for like the truly independent creators?
I mean, I know a lot of people feel the latter because, but I think that's somewhat jealousy, and fear.
Mm,
The reality is, I think most of those companies are bringing their own audience, so I don't know that they're glomming a lot of the other people, and they probably are to some degree if they're bringing in new people, bringing additional possibility to back your stuff. I haven't noticed, because Boom is now, fun, and Brandon Sanderson and people like that are doing more Kickstarters, that's really affected me. I think there has been some affection of being affected because of economic issues, perhaps, and perhaps because, I think there was a lot of rebellion against some of the big two comics for a while,
yep.
and for a variety of reasons that involve a lot of culture war stuff that we probably don't want to go into, but but
Yeah.
but but there's probably a lot of rebellion against that helped bring people to Kickstarter and crowdfunding, and the big two have now, I think, gotten their act together somewhat, at least, with the Absolute Universe, things like that, providing, kind of comics that more people are interested in from them. So I think, if anything, that probably hurts more, is that the mainstream comics publishers may be doing a better job with their books than they
Mm,
have in the past. But so yeah, I don't believe it's a huge issue, and then even if it were, there's nothing to be done about it, really. I mean,
right.
they're not going to be Kickstarter's not going to kick them off the platform because because you know their smaller clients don't like it. It's just
Yeah.
an unrealistic expectation. In a
Yeah.
way, it's almost like, people don't like AI either, and and guess what? You can be stuck with AI no matter what
Yeah.
until it doesn't make money.
Right. Right. Yeah, it is, that's true because with, like, Kickstarter collecting their fees, the more your campaign makes, the more fees they collect. So,
Yeah.
of course, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you yeah, co no, come on over, like, we've got direct to your fan base right here." I just, like, I I find the I'm not against it, and I've backed a couple, like, Bad Idea books that I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for. Bad Idea, if you're listening. I'm still waiting for those, but, like, I I think it's good that if someone like a Boom Studios, the other, I'm just outing myself on all of these campaigns. The other like really big campaign that I backed was the Armory Wars,
Mm.
from Claudio Sanchez, the main guy behind Coheed and Cambria. That a lot of their music is about, like it spins directly into the Armory Wars comic series that he's done, and
Oh,
they did a really nice like hard covered dress of everything, and like it did stupid numbers.
right,
Um, and I was part of it, but like, for me, I think it's good for Kickstarter comics as a platform because you've got people that might not have known about Kickstarter,
right,
but they really like Coheed and Cambria, and, like, that band is a pretty well-known band, and so, it's known that Claude like, I've been to Coheed concerts, and they're selling the Armory Wars comics at the merch table.
mm,
And so, like, it's a known tie-in thing with his
right.
creation. So, if anything, it's driving more people to Kickstarter that might not have known about it before,
I
and
thought
then
about that
suddenly
with Brandon Sanderson coming too, because he's such a big name in the sci-fi in the fantasy world that and his I think he had like $30 million or something on his campaign for some of his books, and
it's crazy.
most of those people weren't on Kickstarter beforehand. They
Yeah,
just came for him. So yeah, I think there's probably truth to that. Of course, how much of that's going to trickle down to
sure.
people like me and you, that's probably going to be a lot less. Depending on how well Kickstarter does of like putting our little campaigns and their emails that they're sending to those people.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I'd like to hijack the Kickstarter email algorithm to have my campaign in everybody's email. I'm sure I'd blow up then,
Right?
or I'd do way better at least.
Yeah.
Are you, are you, I see comments in the right corner. Are those people watching the show?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
so
good.
those are live folks. Before you popped on, I was talking to, Chris, and then Jay was in here.
Yeah.
And Jay's got a bunch of, like, indie horror books. He's about to launch his next Kickstarter.
Okay.
So he is very well versed with the comics aren't cheap aspect of things. And he's right. It really is the best folks that sound off in the comments. But that's another like nice feature about Substack
Oh, okay.
Live is anybody that like as soon as I hit live, it sends a notification
Right.
to all of the people that subscribe to my Substack
Mhm.
that I'm going live, and then anytime like when you joined, anybody that subscribes to you got a notification saying that
Oh,
you've
okay.
gone live with me. And so then like when this publishes after the fact, it should automatically tie the two of us together so that it shows up on your feed and mine. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll figure out what I need to do to get it there too.
Huh,
Um, because Substack's great for like this live feature, and I
right.
I initially came to Substack to do live because on Instagram they were like, you have to have 1,000 followers before you can go live. I was like, well, I've been going live on Instagram for like 2 years, and now you're gonna take it away from me. So
Oh.
I very much was like, fine, screw you, Instagram. I'll find somewhere else. And so I came
Yeah,
here. I since have crossed that 1,000 follower thing on Instagram,
right.
but I'm like, Substack has some really nice features with live. Like they automatically post this video out to all of my subscribers. So even if they don't tune in, they still get it in their email. Like, hey, Blonde Box Punk was live with Ben Crane. And so it pops up that
Uh-oh.
way. And then like it
Mhm.
automatically posts it to YouTube, and it gives like they use magic, because I'm not going to say that they use AI. They use magic to automatically give me shorts that I can keep, and then I can download those and post those over on Instagram or
Oh.
wherever. And it just like that functionality doesn't exist on Instagram.
Mhm.
And until it does, I'm not going to go back to Instagram Live,
Yeah.
even though I have wildly more followers there than I do here.
Ah, okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's all, I don't know, it's all the game, right? Like the grass is greener, but you still got to cut it.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'll try Substack for a bit, and I'm still trying it, but like I'm honestly kind of losing my gusto with it, and I think I'm just gonna stick to the Meta platforms. At some point, I'll switch back to that full time. I don't know. It's always a give and take, as is comics in general.
Yeah, well, I think that's an area where I've seen, an issue with getting people on my campaign. I think earlier on, I think Facebook was actually useful in helping my campaigns.
Yeah,
Now I'm not sure get anybody from Facebook anymore. I think it's either the people from Kickstarter who they emailed, or people from my own email list.
yeah,
Um, you know, some of them were from Yum sharing his artwork of mine out to people because he has a huge following, and every
yeah,
time he posts, thousands of people see it, and 1,000 people or so like it, or so a small fraction of those will actually come and maybe
right.
back. But yeah, that's the days, I think, when I got much out of any of the social media platforms, I think have dwindled. And I don't know if that's just because of the nature of those platforms, not wanting to keep people in their space, and wanting you to buy advertising,
Yep.
which I have done before. I've advertised on Facebook
Yeah,
and in Instagram some, but usually not for my Kickstarters. Usually to just try and get people on my email list with giveaways, things like that. Because
yeah,
I've tried a few times directly advertising my Kickstarters, and I don't think that people, see an ad on Facebook, they're going to go likely to go buy right away. You have to have
yeah,
that, as they say, that funnel where the audience has to be slowly brought in and warmed up to your value, and then maybe they'll like and be interested enough in your product.
yeah,
But so yeah, I always do a couple giveaways every year, and hope that pulls in some people.
yeah, yeah. I think that's smart for sure too. Like, because then you're giving people a chance at very low entry cost,
Right.
like their email, right? To
Yeah.
have a chance to win something, but also like give you a chance as a creator to see what your newsletter is like, to see, what kind of stuff you're putting out, and then like who knows where it goes from there.
Right.
So I I like that approach a lot, instead of the like, here's an ad to go to my Kickstarter to buy my book so that the book happens.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, hey, I'm making stuff all the time. And by the way, if you do it now, like you can be entered into this giveaway and get some free swag out of it. Like, I think that's a win-win, and I think it's super smart. Um, and speaking of things that you're creating, so how long does Vicious Vixens run? I know you said you're about a weekend, so you've
Yeah, another 3 week, a little less than 3 weeks. I think
okay,
March. What day is it? Probably March 17th. I think is the last day.
got it. Okay,
And then now Kickstarter lets you do the
the late
post.
pledges.
Yeah, late pledges. Thank you.
Yep.
Late pledges. So I'll probably run that for a little bit too, but not as long as usual, because, like I said, I've got the book done, and I'm going to be sending out digital issues probably within a week or two of the campaign ending, and then I'll
Yeah.
pick print.
Yeah. So then do you have like, are you one of those hyper organized creators that you've got your 2026 already laid out?
Not totally. um, I know I'm going to launch Samson in not too distant future, because I'm with that one. I'm also finishing it all before we launch.
Yeah.
Pardon me. And that one, well, I'm hoping to launch that within a month or two. We'll
Okay.
see how that goes. Then I'm planning to do another issue of Shark of War, probably in the fall, late summer.
Okay.
Um, and again, we'll see. Hopefully that'll go well. And then that'll probably be, I'll probably do three, and if I do four, I'll be shocked. But probably three issues this year.
Okay.
Um, I know a couple people who crank it out like once every month or once every other month. I
Yeah,
can't really do. I mean, I probably could if the book was doing well, really well, and making profit. I would figure out a way to make it happen. I'd pay my artists more so they could work more on it, and then I'd have helpers to do the fulfillment and things like that, and stuff
yeah,
to run more of the campaigns. But since I kind of do it myself, I do it as I do it.
yep,
Wander along, set up the campaign, run the campaign. In the meantime, I'm writing the book, and
yeah.
doing the actual publishing part of the process, and editing part of the process.
It's a
Um,
lot.
so yeah, so I don't have it, really tightly laid out with a Microsoft project kind of kind of focus the way they used to do stuff when I was working at GE, but
Yeah,
but I kind of have a general idea of what I'm going to try and get done this year. Um,
yeah. I think 3 campaigns in a year is great. Like we've got 2 set for this year, one in
right,
March and then one in July. And that, I mean, last year we had one, and so this year
right.
doing two. It's like this is a lot, and who knows how
I
many.
keep wanting to do 4 a year, but then I don't. Most of the time, I have not wound up doing that. I'd probably have to do a different series, because I'm using the same artist for Vixens and Samson, so that ties him up a lot.
Yeah,
So I'd probably have to pick another book to do with a different artist. Oh,
yeah.
so he's looking at 5. Wow.
Yeah, Jay's crazy.
Yeah.
Just for the Jay's insane. Doing one almost every other month, and like I've talked to a handful, like Brandon Blocksdorf with Apollo City Comics. I don't know how that man is alive. He's helping in some way, shape, or fashion on I think 14 campaigns this year.
Oh,
And granted, like, he's not the main writer behind all of them, but if they're coming out under the Apollo City banner, he's helping with the Kickstarter page, he's helping with the reward tiers, with, like, editing stuff. I mean, he's doing a ton, plus he has his regular full-time job, uh,
oh,
working at Comics Well Springs beside. So, like, he's just all comics all the time and, like, does podcasting and stuff for that, and I'm just like, "Dude, I don't." People say I'm crazy with my schedule, and then I look at him and I'm like, "I can't hold a candle to Brandon because that's
right.
insane." But, yeah, with Jay's Morsels launching on Monday, maybe there's some, cross promotion, update campaign sharing that can happen there.
Oh,
Uh,
possibly. I do reach out to people, and sometimes I just do share people in my updates and hope they share back, and
yeah,
sometimes I'm like, I like, we want to trade updates to
yeah,
make sure that the trade happens. I usually do that with people who have, high backer counts, hoping, kind of hope, hey, I'm here. Would you like to do that? And occasionally, somebody will do it, and most of the time it's like, yeah, you don't, I've got 400 backers, you've got 100.
yeah,
But for Vixens, I go, I'll do well over 100, so it's more desirable for people.
yeah. Yeah, well, we're making connections, man, because Jay just said he's down, so I'll make sure that the 2 of you get connected. Uh, After this, my phone is flashing at me because it's dying because apparently my phone charger isn't charging my phone. So, uh, instead of my battery just dying and this being a rude end to the stream, I'll say thanks, Ben, for
Well,
hanging
thank
out with
you.
me
Oh, no
and
problem.
testing this Substack Live thing with me. Um, I appreciate it. And so with Vicious Vixens, um, is it like 24 pages? What can people expect with the.
It's 24 pages. This is the 4th issue, but all the other back issues are available on the Kickstarter. Like I said, you can read issue 1 free. They're all 24 interior pages.
Okay.
Um, Usually the digital versions have some bonuses, like additional art, or an additional feature. Like
Yeah.
last time, I think I wrote about the True Life. true life events that inspired some of what's happening in Vicious Vixens.
Cool.
So things like that. What gave me the ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a sucker for all that behind the scenes stuff. So, I love that you include that. Where like at are you with the heading towards the goal? Like, are you like halfway funded, or is?
I think I'm about 85%. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
I should be, like I said, this is my most successful book. So I know this one will fund. Like the last issue of Shark of War funded on the last day, in
Oh
part because
man.
of a very enthusiastic backer too. So even it might not have funded at all if not for that.
Yeah.
But this one will definitely fund. It's just, does it fund in the next week or
Yeah.
and, I'm hoping it funds in the next few days, and then there's time for stretch goals and,
Yep.
maybe hitting some, some real numbers, building the group more. Again,
Yep.
that's kind of why, I took a chance and hired Yum, to get that much larger exposure,
Yeah.
to try and help the book out.
Yeah. Cool. Ben, I dig what you're doing. I hope nothing but the best for a successful campaign for you. I appreciate you coming on again. Now you're a double post punk. um, so you're breathing rarefied air, my
Oh,
friend.
cool.
So I appreciate you. I hope it funds sooner than later, and you can get into some really fun Kickstarter stretch goals, which is always the magic space of pushing that ceiling as high as it'll possibly go. Um, I don't know how to cleanly end this with a co-host or with a guest, so we'll hit them with the tagline, and then I'll hit end, and we can email if you've got any questions about anything else.
Okay. Vixens.bitingcomics.com is I think the shortcut for this.
Cool.
Um, so so so
Great. Yeah, I'll make sure to include before this posts, I'll include the campaign link, or just that straight vixens.bitingcomics.com, so that people can easily find the campaign that way. And then I'll figure out how to tag you on the post, and if nothing else, you'll at least be um, added as someone who was on here with me. So we're figuring it out as we go, Ben. That's my life, man. Hanging on by a hope and a prayer. So I appreciate you. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm now like 3% on my phone. So
okay, no
it
problem.
is I appreciate it, man. It's good talking to you again.
Good talking to
Uh,
you. Thanks for having
always
me.
always fun to dig into comics with cool comic creators, and for everybody that's tuning in, still watching or hanging out or checking this out or sounding off in the comments. Thanks for being here. Share this with a friend, and then go do what's good for you and make some art, because making art is good for you. We'll talk to you soon. See you later, Ben.
Goodbye.